The laughter in the hangar was cruel and sharp. The CEO leaned back in his leather chair, champagne in hand, smirking as the janitor, a quiet woman in a faded blue uniform, wiped oil off the floor. "Tell you what," he said loudly, for everyone to hear. "If you can fly that helicopter, I'll marry you myself." Everyone roared with laughter, until she dropped her mop, looked him dead in the eye, and said softly, "Deal." The laughter died. Because in the next 5 minutes, she'd prove that nothing about her was ordinary. The story begins inside Skycore Aviation, one of the largest private jet and helicopter companies in the city. Ethan Cross, a 35-year-old billionaire CEO, is known for his arrogance, success, and sharp tongue. To his employees, he's untouchable, brilliant but heartless. Among the cleaning staff was Maya, a quiet woman in her late 20s. She worked night shifts, barely speaking, her presence almost invisible. Rumors said she was just another struggling worker trying to survive. But what no one knew, not even Ethan, was that Maya carried a secret from a life she left behind years ago. It was the company's 10th anniversary celebration. Ethan had gathered his top pilots, engineers, and executives near the hangar where his brand-new helicopter, the Aquila X-9, gleamed under the lights. As music and laughter filled the room, Maya continued sweeping near the edges, unnoticed. That's when Ethan, in his usual playful arrogance, spotted her. "You there, mop girl," he said, his voice echoing. Everyone turned to look. "Ever dreamed of being something more?" The crowd chuckled. Maya looked up slowly, her eyes calm but sharp. "Everyone dreams of something more, sir," she replied softly. Ethan smirked, sensing a chance for entertainment. "Then let's make a bet. Fly that helicopter," he pointed toward the Aquila, "and I'll marry you on the spot." Gasps filled the hangar. The executives laughed, the pilots smirked, and someone whispered, "She probably doesn't even know how to turn it on." But Maya didn't laugh. She simply nodded. "Deal." The room went silent. Ethan's smirk faded, replaced by disbelief. "You can't be serious," he said. She walked past him calmly, wiping her hands on a rag. "I never joke about flying, Mr. Cross." Ethan watched, speechless, as Maya climbed into the cockpit. The engineers shouted protests. "Sir, she'll crash it. She doesn't even have clearance." But before anyone could stop her, the engine roared to life. The helicopter blades began to spin, cutting through the air like thunder. Maya's hands moved with precision, flipping switches, adjusting pressure gauges, her posture confident and practiced. Ethan froze. Those weren't the movements of a beginner. Within seconds, the Aquila X-9 lifted off the ground, smooth and steady. The hangar lights reflected off the polished metal as the chopper rose higher. Everyone ran outside, shielding their eyes from the wind. Ethan stood there, mouth slightly open, as Maya performed a flawless hover, then a perfect figure-8 maneuver above the field, something only elite pilots could do. When she landed, the crowd erupted in stunned silence. Ethan walked toward her slowly, the cocky grin long gone. Who are you?" he finally asked. She stepped out, removing her cap, her hair falling loosely around her face. "Captain Maya Torres," she said quietly. "Former Air Force combat pilot. Retired after a crash mission 3 years ago. I took this job because I didn't want to fly again, until tonight." Ethan's eyes widened. He remembered now, the story of the only female pilot who had risked her life to save a dozen soldiers in a desert mission gone wrong. She was presumed dead after her helicopter exploded midair. But somehow, she'd survived. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" he asked. "Because I didn't want to be admired," she said softly. "I just wanted peace. But tonight, you mocked me for something I once lived for. So I reminded myself who I am." The crowd stood still, ashamed and awestruck. Ethan looked at her differently now, the arrogance gone, replaced by respect. That night, as the party faded and silence returned to the hangar, Ethan approached Maya again. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said, "but if you ever decide to fly again, I want to be your co-pilot." She smiled faintly. "We'll see, Mr. Cross." Months later, news broke that Skycore Aviation had a new head of flight operations, Captain Maya Torres. And on the day she took her first company flight, Ethan was there, waiting beside her, not as her boss, but as her equal. As they lifted off together, she looked at him and said, half smiling, "Still sure you want to marry a janitor?" He grinned back. "No. I want to marry the woman who taught me to land."